everybody, how you doing? Time for another drum mission instructional. Today we're going to be doing Cissy Strut. It's a song by the Meters. The drummer on that track was Ziggy Modalista. So why did I choose this tune? And I know there's a lot. I mean, if you type in Cissy Strut on the internet, drum lesson, a cajillion videos will come up. So do I think I have anything necessarily that different to say than anything else? Anyone else? No, except for one caveat. Most of them are all pretty good, and there's a lot of different ways to approach this groove, but a lot of them leave out one thing. The only one who really talks about it is Stanton Moore. That's a great one on this groove that you might want to watch as well. And this is one of those nugget grooves where when you learn this, the door to many other grooves like it open up. It is a quote-unquote sort of, not exactly linear groove. What's linear? We'll get to that. It is a kind of open-handed groove between your hi-hat and your snare, and not totally either with that. It's very syncopated, and it swings, but it doesn't swing like Tony Williams or Miles Davis. It swings like Ringo or New Orleans, and the Meters were out of New Orleans, so it swings really like that, but really Ringo got his early swing from that style. Alright, so let's get right down to it. What is a linear groove? Linear grooves are where one thing plays at one time. In other words, this is not a linear groove. I got a little phlegm, got a little phlegm. Sorry. This is not a linear groove. Because the bass drum and the hi-hat are hitting together, the snare is hitting together, right? So everything is sort of linked together to make that groove, and that's called a layered groove, which is what we do most of the time. Linear grooves are where everything is doing something different. Now, if I played something a little similar, like this, that's linear. Bass drums by itself, hi-hats by itself, snares by itself, that's linear. Okay, so let's get right down to the brass tacks. I say that when I say things now that it comes out of my mouth and I realize my mouth is 61 years old just like me. You know what I mean? I realize I sound like my father's grandfather or something. Oh my God. Okay. So this is a very funky syncopated groove. We're going to go beat by beat, beat by beat. And there's a couple of ways to do this. And I'm going to show you kind of two ways. Now, I'm left-handed. I always say that. I say it every single video. I'm going to be leading with my left. You will lead with my right. However, in this particular groove, you can lead with either or. All right. Beat one. One enda. Now, if you go to the clubs, by the way, you'll see a lot of guys playing it kind of this way. Or this way. Both of those are wrong. Both of those are wrong. It's fine if you want to do it that way. It's not wrong in the sense like you're being graded on it. It's wrong in the sense that it's really not the feeling that Ziggy was trying to give it. A little side note before we start. Ziggy is one of those self-taught drummers. Like Ringo, like Charlie Watts, self-taught guys. And self-taught guys come up with some of the coolest stuff because they don't follow the same rules that we follow. Yeah, you could say Ziggy and Ringo didn't have the fastest doubles in the world, but obviously it didn't hurt their careers. You know what I mean? I mean, Ziggy came up with a groove here that there are 90 million videos on, and it's going to be talked about for years beyond him. So that's what the self-taught drummer brings us, and so there's a lot of value in being self-taught. Am I trained? Yes. Do I think there's value in having good technique? Yes. But do I think that self-taught guys can come up with stuff that sometimes the trained guys can't or don't? Yes. Okay, here we go. This is beat one. This is beat one. Now, if you listen to the tune, he varies this groove a bit throughout the tune. He doesn't do it exactly the same way. I'm going to show you sort of two ways to do this kind of that will work for you and will work for the tune. Okay, so here we go. Here's beat one. Without the swing, we'll add that later. Here we go. It's 1 E and da. 1 E and da. 1 E and da. Those are your 4/16 notes. Those are your 4/16 notes. 1 E and ah. Okay? You can also do this, and I do this a lot of times. 1 E and ah. That's a little less linear, but sometimes it helps for my time on particular nights in this tune, depending on the bass player that I'm working with, to put that 1 in there. So you can do it this way too. 1 E and da. But you're not playing that da. Very important. Because when you get to 2, you're bringing your hand down. Now, I'm going to do this with my right hand. You'll notice Stanton Moore does it, and well, which is my snare hand, because I'm left-handed, remember that. Stanton Moore brings down his lead hand. Ziggy Bo brings down his lead hand. There's a girl, I forget her name, she brings down her snare hand. So you can do it this way. Let's leave that 1 out. You can do this, 1 E and a 2. Or you can go 1 E and a 2. Or you can go. But if I were doing that, I would definitely go. All right, that's beat 1 to 2. Now, sometimes, not all the time, he adds that E on the bass drum right after 2. So it would be. Counting it, 1 E and a 2 E. 1 E and a 2 E. All right, we're going to stay with the syncopation now. We're going to stay with the syncopation. Now we've got and on the hi-hat. And now if you notice, I like to keep my lead hand doing like an ostinato. Almost in anything I do, I like to have my lead hand doing the ostinato. So my lead hand's going to kind of play the ands all the way through. That might work for you, that might not. I don't want to keep switching my lead hand around. That's kind of my way, it's been my thing. So watch, I got my lead hand will play the ands all the way through. So here we go. 1 E and a 2 E and a. 1 E and a 2 E and a. There's some color in there too, it kind of accents the da, but we'll get to that at the end too. 1 E and a 2 E and a. All right, let's get to the second half. This beat's really easy once you get it. It is about 88 beats a minute, and we got to add the swing. That's actually the toughest part. All right, when we get to beat 3, this is where it gets tough. All right, we're going to have, again, you can play it 3 E and a 4, but we're going to add that bass drum, which is 3 E and a 4, right? So it would be, watch, 3 E and a 4. 3 E and a 4. So I got 3, the bass drum is by itself, E it's with my hi-hat, and hi-hat by itself, then da, bass drum by itself, and 4. 3 E and a 4. Now I definitely like to do B3 with that, adding B3 in the hi-hat. I play it kind of 3 E and a 4. 3 E and a 4. And why do I do that? Again, I just feel like it helps my time a little bit to play it that way. Okay? And if you watch Ziggy Bo, his actual instructional on it, he does it that way a lot. A lot. He doesn't all the time, but he does do it a lot. So again, find the way that works for you, but it's got to have this syncopation in it, and we got to get to the swing. Okay, again, we're going to pop that E after 4, so watch. 3 E and a 4 E. 3 E and a 4 E. 3 E and a 4 E. If I add the 3, 3 E and a 4 E. 3 E and a 4 E. And finally, we got the last 2 and a 3 E and a 4 E and 3 E and a 4 E and Now, truth be told, sometimes he puts the 1 E on the first part instead of 3 E. Sometimes he doesn't do it. It's very improvisational. All right. All right, so let's talk about the swing. The swing. The problem is, most guys, especially the guys coming up, they tend to think that here's your straight playing and here's your swing playing. In other words, it's either this or this, right? And one is swinging, one is not. But let's think of this as a line, and I've got plenty of other videos on this. So let's say I'm holding a string. Here's straight, here's swing. Anywhere in between is fair game. Now that rockabilly, New Orleans, the Meters, the early Beatles, the early Stones, that style, that swing style might fall here on that line. The Tony Williams, Buddy Rich, Miles Davis kind of thing might fall here on that line. All right? So it's a very loose, easy swing. But I gotta be honest with you, a lot of people have trouble playing this kind of thing. They're either too far to the cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha or too far straight. How do you get good at it? You gotta listen to it. Get some New Orleans records, the New Orleans Nightcrawlers, they're really good. Listen to the stuff that Stanton Moore is on, watch his videos, play along with the Meters records, play that early Beatles stuff. Ringo was really good at it. I don't think Ringo was good at it because he was like, technically working on it. I think that's just the way he played because that's what he listened to. He says he really liked that Southern American black drumming, and that's what this comes from. So, what do we mean in the case of Cissy Strut? So I just showed you that beat nice and straight, but let's take beat 1. You could do this. Instead of this, 1 E and up. I'm going to swing it out just a bit. Hear it? And like I said, I like to add that 1. Instead of 1 E-N, 1 E-N. So it's not, it's, there it is, that's it. And he's kind of swinging it all the way through. All right, let me try to play this through now with the swing. I got my metronome here, 87 beats a minute. It's somewhere between 85 and 88. Again, they didn't do this with a click track. And one of the things I love about Ziggy Bo's playing. Let me just say this. There's other guys who agree with me, do not believe that bands should necessarily have perfect time. Right? Everything clicked out, gridded out to a metronome. I think there should be some breath in there. Now, having said that, should a song start at 88 beats a minute and end up at 109? No. But you can hear when Ziggy Bo plays, he's having fun with that groove, and it moves a little bit. But they're playing together as a band, and that song to me always sounds like it's about to fall off the rails, and it makes it even cooler. So, if you have a habit of rushing, yes, you should work on it. You should work on doing things that in time. But if you're you know, if the song is at 100 and you take a fill and it's at 100.2 and you come back, that's okay. If the bass player is with you, you'll be okay. It'll be all right. That's human. All right. That's my opinion. Here we go. We're at 87 beats a minute. Now, sometimes I'm going to do the, I was making sure that camera's on. Sometimes I'm going to do the one on the hat. Sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'm going to do the double on the bass drum. Sometimes I won't. I'm going to be very improvisatory. Oh, hey man, he's getting awfully smart with these words. Awfully smart. All right.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright guys, part 2, or the B section. So the B section of this tune, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, it's very second liney, it's not really all that hard, but the feeling is kind of hard to get a hold of. If you need help with second line, email me, get on YouTube, take a look and check it out. Alright? But he varies this a lot. It's like every couple of bars he's changing it around, even more than that. He's really having fun with this idea. There's a couple things he does do, though, that if you were to play this song and you did these ideas, people would know you were quoting Zigabo, and that's a good thing. So one of the things he does all the time is 4 and. With kind of a sloshy hi-hat. 4 and. And on the snare, the rest of the beat is between the snare and the bass drum. On the snare, it's very second liney. It's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And there's some ghost notes you might want to put in there, but that's the nugget. If I had the bass drum, watch. And you can see I'm adding a little ghost on 2 here, which is fine, I mean, it's kind of, you know, I'm used to the way I play it. And again, within that, he varies it a lot of little fills. It happens 8 times, it's 8 bars long, and he's always messing around with it. Let's put it together so you can hear it. What's important is that you're doing that little swingy stuff. Just got spit coming in my mouth. The older I get, you know, I keep thinking, how far does this go? When does my android body come? All right. So that swinginess, that second line-ness, having fun with it, messing around with it, right? Listen to the recording, listen to what Ziggy does. All right, guys. I don't usually bring this kind of thing up, but boy, you know, I work really hard to support this channel because I'm very grateful. I've had now a couple of my instructional videos go over 1,000 views. That's really cool. I've got 620 and change subscribers. But I really want to spend more time doing this so I can give you better and more frequent videos. If you can, and I know things are tough. Right now I'm working like 4 part-time jobs. If you can, I got the PayPal and Venmo. If you're getting something out of this, send $1, $2, $3. It'll help. Go towards a new camera. Maybe taking an hour off from doing Uber so I can spend more time doing this. All right. See you on the next one, guys. And I'll take you out with this.